Go.
AIDS.
I used to believe that you would die within 6 months if you had AIDS.
AIDS. I believe AIDS can make you sick.
AIDS.
Go.
I used to believe that only gay people get AIDS.
AIDS.
Scholars once said that AIDS came from sex with animals.
AIDS. An infectious disease that has a history that extends back as far as 85 plus years ago. It continues to affect many people by the second, but yet many young people refuse to get educated about AIDS. In the 2004 comedy film Team America World Police, the film showcased a parody of the famous Broadway show Rent and highlighted the stereotypes and cliches associated with AIDS.
Bright star. Well, I'm gonna march on Washington, lead the fight and charge the brigades. There's a hero inside of all of us. I'll make them see everyone has AIDS. My father, AIDS. My sister, AIDS. My uncle and my cousin and her best friend, AIDS. The gays and the straights and the whites and the spades. Everyone has AIDS. My grandma and my dog are blue. The Pope has got it, and so do you. Come on, everybody, we got quilting to do. We're gonna break down these barricades. Everyone has AIDS, 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 AIDS.
There are so many stereotypes that have masked AIDS for years. The stereotypes have been so prominent in our society that it is often hard to determine what is false and what is true. With the rise of the AIDS epidemic, several organizations have formed to educate people and to try to dispel those myths and false representations. One of those organizations is Access AIDS Care in Norfolk, Virginia, where I had the opportunity to visit their location and talk with persons involved with their organization who are actually living with AIDS. And they told me how the stigma, which refers to the prejudice, negative attitudes, abuse, and maltreatment directed at people living with AIDS and HIV, has affected the AIDS community and its growth.
We would have people on TV with like skeletons and their bones and stuff. That's all you could see.
Yeah, AIDS, HIV, all these people
Dying.
HIV, AIDS.
They never highlighted people living, and a lot of this is why the stigma is still around, because a lot of people still have that thought in their mind from back then. So,
But it's still the stigma too. They all think it was a white man's disease. And they don't realize that it's more in the black community now than it is back when it first came out.
Why do you think, you said young people, young African Americans, why do you think they feel that way about?
Because of the stigma that's out there. You know, if you got HIV, oh, get away from me, and you're gonna die, and they got so many different names for it now. The bug.
They call it
the monster.
Yeah,
The
what's some of the names, y'all? I get
bug,
lost on them.
I mean, if you get on the internet and try to read about it, you know, you're supposed to have black spots on your tongue, and you know, you get black spots all over your body, and all this, and then it's still that stigma out there. If you get it, you're gonna die.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Charles, Ruby, and Ruth said starting from back in the day, the media was often at fault for some of the false images and myths that became associated with AIDS. They said young people were often influenced by these misconceptions, and still in today's society, the younger generation is blinded by the unknown. This was made apparent to me when interviewing 3 of my colleagues. So, do you think that AIDS is a detrimental disease? That it's automatically a killer?
Yes, it is.
It is? And why is that?
Because they don't have a cure for it. And the HIV virus actually it destroys your immune system.
Everybody died from it.
Kills your killer T cells and all that biological stuff.
Do you think there are actually people in society that are living with AIDS?
Yes, lots and lots. A lot of people that you think are healthy, they're not.
Like these students, a lot of young people know about AIDS and what can happen when you have the disease. But listen as I continue to converse with my colleagues and witness how stereotypes later play a role in our conversation. But do you think that people can live with AIDS for years and years and years and years, or do they automatically die?
Magic Johnson.
Huh?
They have a lot of money like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, they got money.
But poor people, they won't live forever.
And that's, a lot of black people get it, they die anyways. As soon as they find out they get it, they die.
Do you think AIDS is a gay man disease?
I think it predominantly, but also, but then when they get reaching around,
Yeah, that's how the women, that's how the black ladies get it.
that's how the women get it.
As you may have already noticed, my colleagues embellished their conversation with stereotypes about AIDS. They said some stereotypes such as gay men only have AIDS, rich people can cure the disease, and that people automatically die from the disease. Although those stereotypes have some truth in them, they are far from the whole truth. Gay men can have AIDS, but they are not the only people that have AIDS. There is no found cure for the AIDS disease. And there are people that have lived with AIDS for years and years and years who take care of themselves with the necessary medication and live a prosperous life.
You cannot tell no more when someone has HIV.
Especially if they take their medications and do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
You keep your immune system up so your health is good, so you look good. So, you know.
Because you hear so many people nowadays talking about, well, like one of the sites I go on, they talking about, well, I had sex with this person, but I didn't know that they was HIV prior to that. They didn't look it. But they found out afterwards that they were because this person decided to men. They was like, well, how could you? No, because it's not the old stereotype no more. You cannot tell, you know, if you look at us, you can't tell. If we didn't tell you, you wouldn't know.
It's not really anything to be able to, it's not a
No, but see,
it's a disease.
Right, but back in the day, everybody was real skinny.
Yeah.
They got the sores all over.
Well, those were the people, like I was saying earlier, that they were showing. They were showing the people that were dying, and I don't think they was
and that's
showing
what
people that were
everybody
living.
think. That's what they think everybody's supposed to look like if you got HIV.
This is just a lot of misconceptions and a lot of myths in our community about HIV and AIDS.
So what is my point? What is my purpose for giving you all of this information about stereotypes and the stigma that surrounds AIDS? It is that stereotypes continuously mask the factual information about AIDS and the effect it can have on your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. In order for you to know your facts, protect yourself, and know your surroundings, you have to educate yourself and not become a victim of the unfamiliar and not knowing. AIDS does not have a color, personality, or distinct characteristic, and it does not infect only one group of people. So it is important to know your facts in order to make this world a better place for you and me.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying, oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life.
greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make